time for a Southwestern inspired spatchcock chicken. Get ready, because we're going to make it happen on Heat of the Drum. Welcome back to Heat of the Drum. Today we're doing chicken, spatchcock chicken, with a nod to the Southwest. We're going to do a Southwestern rub that we're going to put on here, and this should turn out really good. So, if you don't know what a spatchcock chicken is, it's basically you just cut the backbone out of the chicken, you open it up, flatten it out, and that's the way you cook it. Just called spatchcock chicken. So I'll show you how to do that real quick, and then we'll get this thing seasoned up and let it set off to the side and sweat out, and we'll go out and get the smoker going. So here we go. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, this has just been sitting on this paper towel trying to absorb some water and moisture off this thing, and we're going to clean it up a little bit here. We're going to get rid of some of this stuff we don't want on there. And come around here and get this off of here. Then we're just going to flip her over. And we're after this backbone right here. We're going to get that thing out of there. You just need to cut along each side. Flip her around here and get a better look at this side. Right there, and get that thing out of there. Let me get this paper towel out of the way here too. Then we're just going to kind of flatten it out like such and break that breastbone just like that, and that'll flatten it out. And that's all there is to that. Let's get rid of this guy hanging off here like that and get him out of the way too. Okay, so we got our chicken flattened out. Now let's make our rub. So what I have here is 2 tablespoons of paprika, 2 packed tablespoons of light brown sugar. I have right here 2 teaspoons of dark chili powder, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of coarse black pepper, 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper, and 1 teaspoon of oregano leaves. We're going to combine all that together and mix her on up. And we'll whisk all that up together. And there we go. We got our rub ready to go. So let's get back at this chicken then. What I want to do is I want to get some of this seasoning under this skin. So I'm going to pull back this breast skin, and I'm just going to work some in there. And then we'll pull it back over, and we'll finish putting a rub on the rest of the chicken. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to kind of work my fingers underneath this skin here. And just to kind of work that loose, just like that. You can kind of see my finger wiggling in there. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side here. Find a good spot where you can get in there. And then just kind of get your finger in there and work it around, just like that. Now that it's loose, And I'm going to get a little bit of this skin here cut off that's dangling down. Get rid of that guy. And I'm going to get rid of that guy right there. Get them out of the mix. And since we're just going to use what we can out of this rub, whatever's left we're pitching, I'm just going right in, chicken hands and all. So we're just going to get some of that seasoning, kind of get this thing up here, and we're going to try to kind of work it in there. Smear it in there, just like that. And we'll get a little bit more of it here. You can see I'm grabbing about that amount and just working it in there and smearing it all in there as far as you can go. That way all the seasoning's just not on the outside on the skin. We're actually getting it in there on them breasts too, which can be a little bland at times. So there we go. So that's that part. Let me get rid of these scissors here. Now what I'm going to do on this side here, we'll just take this knife and we're going to chop that extra skin flap off right there. And then we're going to get this guy off of here too. Just like that. So I'm going to grab some paper towels and we're going to try to dry this guy off a little bit. And clean up any other things that you see that you don't like that right there. I'm going to get rid of that. And that little bit right there, I'm going to get rid of him too. And then what I'm going to do, get rid of this. I'm going to take a little bit of this butter right here. And we're just going to kind of smear it around a little bit. And that'll help the rub stick and help in the crisping process when the time comes. Okay, let's go back into this seasoning. I want it seasoned up really good. It's going to be some good flavor on there. Let's pat it in there. And then we'll flip and repeat. Once again, we're going to do the same thing. Let me grab a couple paper towels. And go ahead and get some of this water off of here. It's kind of messy, but it'll be worth it. Just like that. Back to the butter. I'm going to smear it around here. And we're not getting too crazy with the butter. We're just a light little coating. Butter could have been a little softer, but that's all right. Okay. And back to the seasoning. Get these wings coated. Looking pretty good. I'm gonna get a little bit more here on these thighs. All right. That is starting to look pretty good where I want it. Now we're going to set this thing back in the fridge for about an hour. We're going to go out, get the smoker cleaned up, get it ready to go, and get it up to temp, and we'll be ready to throw this thing on there. Okay, this is where I like to take a second and thank everybody who has liked, subscribed, and watched these videos. And like I said, if I can help you out along your barbecue journey, that's why I'm doing this. And like I said, there's some things we'll probably learn along the way. So let's get this chimney going. And I'll show you real quick what we got here. We got some lump charcoal mixed with some Kingsford, and we're doing some hickory wood in there today. So we'll get that lit up. Here is our chimney, about 3/4 of the way full. So we'll be lighting that up. And there you have it. Okay, we'll let this burn for about 15 minutes, and then we'll be dumping it in and working on getting this smoker up to temp. Okay, we got flame. Let's get her dumped. Okay, it looks pretty good. And I'll be putting my bottom grate in, and then you know me, I always use my restrictor, and I like to use water. This is hot water. Got to keep that food moist. And we'll go ahead and get our top grate in place. Get our thermometer in place so that's ready to go when the time comes. Okay, so our target temp this week is going to be around 300 degrees, so give or take. You know, like I always say, you're going to have some fluctuation there, so always expect at least a 20-degree swing. I'm going to let this lid stay off of here for 10 minutes. Then we're going to get our lid on, and then once this drum gets about 315, I'm going to damper down below and get the damper set and get this thing locked in to where we need it to be to get that chicken on. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. Let's get this lid on. Now I'm just going to watch. So as soon as this thing hits 315, I'm going to set my damper down below. Okay, we're 315. Let's get this thing dampered. And I'm going to set this for about 9/16 of an inch. Is right there. That'll work for me. Like I always say, from the time I start my chimney until the time I put my food on, it's always 1 hour. It's just a routine that I have. Getting the dirty smoke out, getting this thing burning clean, getting it close to where I need it to be. and getting it in that ballpark. So if you decide to build one of these, you might have a different routine. If you already own one, you might already have a different routine, and that's okay. Whatever works for you. I just find that that's what works for me, so that's what I do. Now it should be, I'm guessing, a 2.5 hour smoke, give or take, to get us where we want to be. My goal is to get to 160, and then we'll get the water bowl out and the restrictor plate out, and we'll start crispening up this skin a little bit. Okay, we're back. It's time to get the chicken on. It's been resting in the fridge on some paper towels, trying to draw out some of that excess moisture. So we're going to go ahead and get her on. And I'm just going to put her right in dead center. Just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to let this cook for an hour, and then we'll come out and we're going to rotate, just in case there's a hot spot. I like to rotate in case there's a hot spot in there, and kind of evens out the cooking. So we'll give it 1 hour and we'll rotate. Okay, so it's been 1 hour. Our target temp on this drum was 290 to 300, give or take. And right now we are setting at 276. So we're slightly low, but I'm not worried about it because it's climbing and it's going to get up there. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate our chicken all the way around, and then we're going to insert our thermometer so we can start monitoring. So let's go ahead and take a look. Get this thermometer out the way. Oh yeah. I'm going to go ahead and rotate. Get this thermometer back in. And then what I'm going to come in and do is I like to normally just go in the breast meat right here. So I'm going to come in about halfway in there, give it a poke, and go in about right there. And go ahead and get this in here. And then we'll get our lid back on. So right now, the chicken is reading 119. We want to go to 160. At 160, we're going to get the restrictor plate out and the water bowl out, and we're going to start the crisping up process. We're going to crisp this skin up a little bit. Okay, you can see the chicken is 161, and the smoker is reading 312. Remember, our target temp was 290 to 300. So we're right in there. Like I said, you're always going to have a little bit of a swing. I always call it the 20-degree swing. And I feel good about that. Let's go ahead and take a look. And what we're going to do now, because that was my thermometer, my ThermoPro is telling me it's 161. But I'm going to get in here at this instant read and poke around a little bit, and we'll see what we're dealing with. Ooh, man, look at that bad boy. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get him out altogether. And let's do a little probing here. Here, I'll bring you in so you can see this. 163. Breasts are looking good. 160, right where we want them. Let's come in here to these thighs, see what they're reading. Oh yeah, they're definitely, I figured they'd be up there. Okay. So that's looking really good. That's where we want it. Now I'm going to get this top grate out here. We're going to get the restrictor and the water bowl out, and we're going to start to crisp this up a little bit. Just a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to get this thermometer out here because I no longer care what the temperature is at this point. We're going to crisp it up. It's going to get up there. So we'll just get that out of there. Gonna go ahead and grab this grate, pull her on off. Ooh, that was close. Now we're gonna come in here and we're gonna get this right on out of the way. Bring that right there. That grate can stay, it doesn't matter. Get this back in. And what I'm going to do now, too, is I'm actually going to flip this. Woo-wee. Look at that. Oh, man, look at that. Woo! It smells really good. Now we're going to let that go about 5 minutes. And then we're going to flip it back over. Bring you back then. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. Let's take a look. Let's just go ahead. Oh, man, look at that. Woo! And you know what? We are pulling it. And we'll see you inside. And here we go. It's been resting probably about 10 minutes now. And before I sample this thing, let's do a quick little recap. So basically what we did is we started out with, and I forgot to tell you this earlier, but it was about a 5.5 pound whole chicken. And we spatchcocked it. I showed you how to do that. We made a Southwestern inspired rub that we got under the skin on them chicken breasts to get those bland chicken breasts, some flavor in there. And then we buttered the whole thing with just a little bit of butter and put our seasoning on and got the drum up to temp, put it on. We cooked for an hour. After an hour, we rotated. Then we put in our thermometer. We monitored and cooked until it was 160. I think by the time I got out there, it was about 161, 162, you know, right around that area. And that's when I took out my restrictor plate and my water bowl. I flipped it over to kind of crisp up the skin. And about 5 minutes later, we went back out, flipped her back over, and said, it's time to pull it. And it was looking really good. And I tell you what, it smells good. So it's that time. Let's give it a taste. And what I might do here is just take, oh, look at that. That wing is just going to pull right off of there. So I'm a wing guy. Let's go ahead and give her a try. Oh, yeah. Smoky. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, look at that. The meat is just going to, see the steam coming off that? It's just going to fall right off that bone. Oh, yeah, I just got a hint of that Southwestern flavor there. Tasty. Let me try a little piece of this breast right here. Oh, yeah. The little bit of heat from that Southwestern rub is starting to come through right now. That's really good. A little bit of kick, not bad. Oh, yeah. Right there is our chicken breast. Let's go ahead and give that a try. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Putting that seasoning under there, help that out. Give that some flavor because chicken breast can be bland. So, till I see you guys again, you can do this. Till the next time, heat of the drum.